While there have been a ton of high quality home rowers released just in the past few years, all of them have sort of struggled with answering why choose it, whether it's Aviron, Ergata, Hydro, the Peloton row, or others, over the more traditional Concept 2 rower, which for many years has been considered by many to be sort of the gold standard of rowers. Because even though the Concept 2 doesn't necessarily look great inside a home, it's not particularly stable when stored upright, and it's about as loud as a vacuum cleaner, it is very well made and, most importantly, is often sold at a price that is half or even sometimes 1/3 the price of some of the higher end connected fitness rowers. Because no matter what features or improvements they might have, with such a large price gap, that question of why not just get a Concept 2 rower has continued to justifiably remain. However, that question may be on its way out with the recently released Aviron Go Rower, because not only is it more accessible than pretty much any other indoor rower ever made, but compared to the Concept 2, it looks better inside a home, it's a lot more stable when upright, is significantly more quiet, and is much closer in price to the Concept 2 than any other high quality connected fitness rower out there. So let's dig into everything you need to know about the Aviron Go, from what it does well to some of its drawbacks, as well as its new app integration for its optional gamified membership program. And if you appreciate unbiased reviews that get right to the point without wasting your time, or want to stay up to date with the latest in fitness tech, make sure to subscribe to Connect the Watts. Okay, so first, let's talk about some of the design decisions made here with the Aviron Go, because the way this rower is designed is very unique and is, in my opinion, one of its biggest strengths. For one, it is extremely compact with only an 84-inch length and 27-inch width, which is a smaller footprint than most other rowers, and can be easily stored upright even with lower ceilings. And what is really nice here is that when the Aviron Go is stored upright, it doesn't need to be anchored to a wall like, for example, Hydro or Peloton, and it's extremely stable in that position. The Concept 2, by comparison, is much less stable and more likely to accidentally get tipped over. So already, Aviron is off to a strong start with its design. But what I'm even more impressed with is the accessibility, ergonomics, and adjustability here. Some rowers sit pretty low, like Ergata, for example, which makes it harder to get down and row into a good position for somebody who is less flexible or overweight. And other rowers sit higher up, which does help with this, but then also the rail sits high too, which can make it less accessible for people with certain limitations. But Aviron's design combines the best of both worlds, with both a low rail that is easy to clear and a high seat, so easy to row with even for those who have more limited mobility. The rail here is also unique in that it declines slightly towards the front, which is a really smart and sneaky way to encourage good rowing mechanics. And most impressive of all are these adjustable foot pads, because unlike every other rowing foot pad out there, the width of these can be adjusted. So you can really dial the rower in to allow you to have the best mechanics regardless of your height, your body type, or foot preference. And to give you an idea of how much all of this helps with accessibility, this is the only rower, and honestly one of the only cardio devices out there, that even my mother-in-law with MS can actually use. So really impressed with what Aviron has done here with its design. Now, towards the front of the rower, we have a unique combination of both air and magnetic resistance. An air resistance, for example, is what the Concept 2 uses and feels great, with its biggest downside being that creating resistance with what is essentially a big fan can be very loud. And so Aviron improves this by mixing it with magnetic resistance, again, sort of taking the best from both worlds, because this magnetic resistance allows the rower to have that nice air feeling without most of the noise. The magnetic resistance is also nice in that can be easily and quickly adjusted, and the highest level of resistance is strong enough to almost use this as a strength device, which adds an additional element of fun and some creativity into several of Aviron's rowing games, which we'll talk about more in a minute. And of course, above all of this is an adjustable smartphone and tablet holder with an included charger port, which as of right now, you'll need to either use an iPhone or iPad to connect to, since the Aviron app is currently only available on the Apple App Store. Replacing the 22-inch screen with this is essentially the only difference between the Aviron Go and the much more expensive Aviron Strong. And while I like the experience of the Aviron Strong more with its dedicated touchscreen, I think the price difference between the two makes the Aviron Go the much more attractive option. So to pair the Aviron Go, you just download the Aviron app, press the Bluetooth pairing button, and connect. This app will work whether or not you have an active Aviron membership, and I do want to mention that even if you don't have an active membership, Aviron will still save your workout history and even export your workouts to workout tracking services like Strava or Concept 2 Logbook. And that is huge because most other connected fitness rowers will not allow you to do this without continuing to pay a monthly subscription. So really happy that Aviron is being more consumer friendly here. However, I do want to dig more into what is provided with the Aviron membership because I think it is well worth considering, especially for its price, which is as low as $24 per month if you sign up for the annual membership. So Aviron's focus and goal here is just to make rowing fun. And to do that, they rely heavily on games and gamification. And while they do have some instructor-led programs, they aren't really the main focus here. Although I do have to say, it does seem like they have cranked up the production value on their most recent programs well beyond what I've seen in the past. The games, though, are really where I think most will spend the majority of their time with Aviron and really where the program shines most, with a variety of game modes, each unique in its own way, with various levels of difficulty. Some have you battling wave after wave of enemies, while others have you trying to accumulate points by staying in various lanes through holding specific paces or cadences, with power-ups to earn and leaderboards to chase. And what I really like here is that many of these games also come with a larger macro progression within them. So after you finish a session, you earn experience that levels you up for that specific game, which can help you earn some extra perks and then allow you to progress even further the next time. And what's great here is that you can also just jump into anyone else's session and join them, and so you can help each other out. And the multiplayer experience is just super seamless and makes everything here that much more fun. And while you can randomly jump in with others, Aviron also has a very active Facebook group where you can set up specific sessions with other members who all seem very friendly and excited to jump into these group sessions. The only problem with this right now is that while there does seem to be a ton of people working out on Aviron's main platform, this app version seems like it might be on a different server, and since it was just released, there's also a lot less opportunities to jump in with others. Hopefully that'll change pretty quickly over time as the app version becomes more popular, and I think it will, not only because I think the Aviron Go will become a popular choice once more people know about it, but also because this app works and can connect to Concept 2 rowers as well. So if you're someone who already has a Concept 2 rower, I would definitely suggest checking out the Aviron app. But again, back to the games, another thing that I really enjoy here is that you can earn new skins and backgrounds for most of them by spending experience points that you can earn by literally doing any rowing mode. And basically, the more time that you row, the more experience coins you get. And this just adds on another layer of gamification that just gives me additional reasons to come back and row more often. And it doesn't even end there, because additionally they have tons of medals to chase, as well as monthly challenges to complete, and even trophies to earn if you want to follow one of the guided programs which get released every month. And those can be very helpful if you want some guidance on what you should be doing next. There's also scenic rides you can take, and honestly dozens of other workout types that I haven't even fully dug into, so I think it would be hard for someone to get bored here. Though while I do really enjoy the program that they offer, there are a few downsides. First, there isn't really a way to create custom workouts with custom intervals, though from what I understand, that is something they may be working on. Another issue is that with the other Aviron rowers that come with their own screens, on those, you can watch Netflix, Disney+, YouTube, or other streaming services, and you'll still be able to see your metrics on the screen. Unfortunately, with the app version here, it isn't as seamless. I can still row and get credit for rowing and everything while watching something like Netflix, but I can't see my metrics while doing so. But again, from what I understand, this is a feature they are working on. There's also a workaround that I found though, and that is because the iPad holder has enough width to also fit in a phone at the same time as the iPad. So I was able to set up the app on my phone and see my stats while watching a show on the iPad behind it. And honestly, that wasn't too bad of a setup. And overall, I'm just very excited by what Aviron has done with the Aviron Go. I love how affordable this rower is when compared to other connected fitness rowers, and I think it has enough advantages over the Concept 2, given how much better it looks, it sounds, and how adjustable and stable it is, to make this very well worth a consideration. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and as always, this is Colin Jenkins with Connect the Watts. Appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next time.